I know you're scared. Yeah, I do too. Yeah, if I were you. I know you're scared. I do too. If I were you. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game.
There is a lot going on in Vikings football right now. Lots and lots of stuff going on. Potential roster cuts, potential signings to the roster moves in general, including the signing of Minnesota Golden Gophers running back Mo Ibrahim, who is a good runner with good skills. And I'm just loving the way the team's doing their stuff overall. And yeah, I'm all for it. Even though I won't be watching the Vikings-Eagles game tomorrow due to some celebrations that I have, extending celebrations for my birthday. They're a bit extended, so that's why. But that game will be one to watch. It's good to look out for Jaren Hall, Lewis Cine, who had a very impressive game against the Browns, and then just kind of hasn't shown us any more than that. But I loved what Lewis Cine did. A player who obviously has been through a lot and suffered a leg injury. Like he broke his leg, his lower leg, back in week 4 in London of 2022 against the Saints. So that can be hard to come back from, especially mentally, because you can feel less confidence for yourself, and that stuff can suck because you don't know how long it's gonna last in terms of whether it's physical or mental, because most players have to rush their recoveries. But what I saw from Lewis Cine kind of made me feel like he may not have actually lost a step. I think it might have been a whole mental process. But, we all have our doubts still. We all have our doubts. But against the Browns in the second preseason game, he had 1 interception, led the team in that. 11 tackles, also led the team in that game. 1 sack, and wow. That's just incredible. That's incredible. He also had a pass deflection, it says. I'm pretty sure that's what PD is. But Lewis Cine is a player who has definitely proved himself that game. I still wouldn't pick him over Cameron Bynum. And I still can't believe there was a time where I chose Lewis Cine over Cameron Bynum. But there might be a chance that Cam Bynum, the Vikings could release him. But considering the way he's been playing, they got to give him that extension. And when you have the safety depth like you do with Josh Metellus and Harrison Smith and Theo Jackson and hopefully up and coming star like Lewis Cine, where's Cam Bynum going to fall into that equation? Because he's proven he's a starter. He's proven that he can get rid of the doubters, get rid of the doubts itself, and just keep on playing. Because Cameron Bynum last season led the team in tackles. Led the entire team in tackles last season. He also had 9 tackles, forced fumble, and 2 interceptions against the Niners. So against a team like San Francisco, having those kinds of stats, that's going to propel you forward. So I think I'm going to ride with the Cam Beasley train, because you're going to have to pay this guy. You know what you have in him, and you know how much of a star you have in him. And what a great guy, too. You want great guys like Cameron Bynum in the Minnesota area for as long as possible. And the truth is, when you have Cam Bynum on your team, that's dangerous for opposing offenses. Cam Bynum is such a smooth tackler where he's almost guaranteed to make the tackle, but he's not a dirty player. He's not a dirty player at all. He's not like Kirby Joseph. That's what I like about Cam too. He's a player who you can easily respect, has a great story about him in the Philippines and things like that, and absolutely love Cam. Theo Jackson, on the other hand, is a slick player. And what I mean by that is he'll show up unnoticed. He's kind of an unsung hero. That's what I like about him too. And Lewis Cine, he's a guy that just showed up out of nowhere. You can say the interception was a toss up in the air where it was deflected and it just happened to fall into Lewis Cine's hands. Okay, well, 11 tackles didn't just happen to fall into Lewis Cine's hands. Hitting that QB as hard as Lewis Cine said he would, didn't just fall into his hands. He went out there and he stacked the body like he said he would almost 3 years ago. Yeah. He was drafted in the 2022 NFL draft, and after like 1 or 2 years of not succeeding, they were like, okay, he's a bust. He's a bust. But if he plays well this game against the Eagles and really proves himself, we might actually have the gem that we thought we would have in Lewis Cine. Now, don't get me wrong, I'd still rather have Kyle Hamilton at this exact moment, but Lewis Cine is a guy who could actually improve, whether him getting hype from the media, which is unlikely considering how the media is towards the Vikings, but I think I like Lewis Cine better as an unsung hero because you don't want them to give you all the attention and then you fail. You want them to give you less attention and then really spring up into the air and force the camera on you. That's what you want to do if you're Lewis Cine or any other player that's trying to strive to obtain that roster spot and that spotlight on the team. So I think that's really important. Now, I already know what we have in Bo Richter and Levi Drake Rodriguez. Those guys are beasts. Those guys are savages. Those guys are awesome players. They are hopefully going to make the roster. I like them. I like them a lot. Levi Drake Rodriguez, by the way, he forced his way through two blockers. He's been getting sacks against the Raiders, sacks against the Browns. Bo Richter got himself a sack too. I'm just loving the way this team is. And in all seriousness, we might be dangerous. Actually, we're going to be dangerous this season. And I think that for a quarterback like Sam Darnold, who has been doubted quite a bit, having a running game to take the pressure off of him throwing an interception more often would be Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler. That's why I love the running back room and the signing of Mo Ibrahim. I think that was something that can really, really change your depth chart in the sense of having depth at a position can take pressure off of another position. That's what I love too. And when you have players like that and players that can really show up and show out, that is what you need. And going to the offense now, Jaren Hall looked nice against the Browns. I mean, he was moving around the pocket. I mean, Nick Mullins looked kind of nice too, but his decision making kind of threw me off on the first couple of plays, like 2 plays. I'm not sure if they were separate, but Nick Mullins is decent. How about that? But Jaren Hall, he was playing really well in the sense of moving around the pocket, using his agility, using his mobility, using everything he could to make big plays. And that 27-12 win, that was awesome. And then his 71-yard dime for the touchdown to wide receiver Deshaun Jones, that was also incredible. And I love that. I love those explosive plays. Another explosive play was Dwight McGlothern. His teammates call him Nudie McGlothern. I'm not sure where that name came from. It might be a nickname, but sounds cool, I guess. But Dwight McGlothern is a player who definitely shows up and shows out. And he's an underrated player too. He made the catch or made the interception, took it all the way back, almost all the way back, tackled short of the end zone where Jaren Hall handed it off, and the running back took it into the end zone himself. But Dwight McGlothern, man, he's been missing that end zone. And I think he might be able to get a pick 6 if he makes the roster. I don't know. But he's been a big part of the Vikings cornerback depth. Obviously, you can't forget about Duke Shelley, Byron Murphy, and the signing of Stephon Gilmore, which I think could help Byron Murphy himself, not just be that outside corner a lot. The signing of Stephon Gilmore could really help Byron Murphy playing the slot more like he usually does and like he's more comfortable with. So iron sharpens iron, and yeah. I need to see more from Dwayne McBride though. Even Thayer Thomas and N'Keal Harry, Gabriel Murphy, the UDFA, who we were all excited about. I think I still need to see a little bit more from him. Jaquelin Roy, he's all right. Andrew Booth obviously got traded to the Cowboys. But Dwight McGlothern, though, I'm loving Dwight McGlothern. He's already becoming a fan favorite for me. And Dwight McGlothern has this awesome personality where he's pretty slick in the terms of the way he plays on the field translates to his attitude off the field. So he's the kind of guy who even if you have a bad game and give up a touchdown and lose the game, I feel like Dwight McGlothern will own that, but then also find ways to cheer his teammates up too. So that's what I like about him. And in general, having a team like the Vikings is something that's special because you have a great fan base and the best stadium in the NFL, and an exciting team with great personalities. And the Minnesota nice itself is just something that you can never really get rid of, in my opinion. And in the most recent preseason game against the Browns, the highest UDFA scores, or no, the top PFF scores, grades for the Vikings from not yesterday, but like almost last week. Last week's win against the Browns. On the offense, Jaren Hall had a 90.4 PFF grade. Kene Nwangwu, running back, who is highly underrated. He uses his feet in a strong way in terms of running the ball. He is a fast runner. I thought I saw Isaiah Pacheco out there. But he had a 76.2 PFF grade. Offensive lineman David Quessenberry had a 74.5 PFF grade. Trey Knox has a 72.9 PFF grade. Tristan Jackson with a 72.7 PFF grade. On defense, Taki Taimani, 91.5 PFF grade. Dwight McGlothern, 86.1 PFF grade. Lewis Cine on this list with a 79.5 PFF grade. Jacoby Francis, 76.0. And Fabian Moreau, 75.8. So, yeah, this team is looking nice in terms of depth and skill. I'm loving that. Do you guys think Lewis Cine will make the roster? Because I don't know. But I was really upset. I was really upset when they waived Najee Thompson. That was just not what I wanted to see. But he was on the PUP list for a while. PUP list means physically unable to perform. And IR, by the way, IR means injured reserve. So I think Najee Thompson will be on the injured reserve list. But I'm not sure where Najee is going to go because he's injured. So you can't trade him or cut him. I don't believe you can. But as long as he stays in purple, I'm happy with that. But releasing him, that's going to tug on my heartstrings a little bit. You know, Najee is a great guy. Met him last time I was in Minnesota for the Vikings-Bucks game. He's an awesome dude. So, yeah, I'll miss him if he's not in Minnesota. And speaking of roster moves themselves, the Vikings signed linebacker Jordan Kunazik, I think is how you say it, and signed wide receiver Justin Hall. And they waived wide receiver Ty James and punter Seth Vernon. So that means Ryan Wright won the punting competition. And they waived Najee Thompson. Like I said, that one hurts. And tackle Jeremy Flax, I believe it was. And signed offensive lineman Matt Sidrick. So I think that's going to be a just a body, like in terms of depth. You know, you want to have some guy there in terms of the time if any of our starters go down. You don't want our starters to go down. So I think that getting that good depth in there will really help. And the Vikings then acquired tight end Neil Johnson, waived cornerback Jacoby Francis. They might put him on the practice squad, though. Waived tight end Trey Knox and signed offensive lineman Chuck Filiaga. I believe that's how you say it. If that's not how you say it, my apologies. Chuck Filiaga. There we go. That makes more sense. But the roster moves have been making a lot of sense lately. They've been improving our team lately. I think Mo Ibrahim might be better than what you think. Same with Kene Nwangwu, who had an awesome 2021 season in terms of kickoff return touchdowns. He did have one against the Patriots, though, on Thanksgiving night in Week 12 of 2022. It was a 97-yard touchdown on the kick return. But the point is, I'm loving this team, this franchise, the moves that we're making, and my excitement for the season, who's going to make the roster, who won't, everything about that, the drama going on, the rumors. And by the way, will Sam Darnold win it all for the Vikings this season? I don't know about winning it all, but if Sam Darnold goes out there and makes the playoffs, I'll be happy with that, though. I'll be happy with that. But this team is exciting. This team is going to hopefully be dangerous this season. I'm looking forward to it and to being at the Vikings-Niners game in Week 2 of the 2024 season. So that's all going to be so exciting, and can't wait. Skol Vikes.
I know you're scared. Yeah, I do too. If I were you. I know you're scared.